welcome to Come Home. I'm Jen Mallon, and it's such a joy to be with you today. God has something He wants to impart. The Holy Spirit wants to encourage you, and Jesus is Lord over this program. Jesus is Lord over your life, over your family, over your mentality, over your marriage, over your ministry, over your business. Get a visual for that. Jesus is Lord. He cares, and He is on the throne no matter what's going on. You have a Jeremiah 29:11 promise that He knows the plans that He has for you, plans to prosper you, to give you a future and a hope and an expected end. Well, today we have an amazing guest. I love when God connects me with girls from my tribe. She is bold, she is sassy, she is fiery, she is feisty, she is shiny, she is bright, and she is bling-alicious. I'm a bling girl. In fact, she blessed me with this incredible necklace. I think that when we get to heaven, everything's sparkly, so we've got to start practicing on earth and getting used to it. But before we go to this incredible coach, entrepreneur, businesswoman that is taking the business mountain by storm, we are going to get something to eat, something nourishing. And so we're going to go to the Homekeeper's Kitchen, and we have a cabbage skillet. I'm a cabbage girl. So let's join Stephanie now.
It's another great day in the Homekeeper's Kitchen. I have Jeanette Chabot with me, my coworker and friend. I want to introduce you to all of my coworkers, but some of them won't come on camera. And honestly, this is not in your comfort zone, right?
Nope,
so
not at all.
Thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure.
So today we are making Cajun cabbage skillet. I am trying to come up with recipes that that are frugal.
Yes.
So I have turkey and andouille sausage cooking. Cheaper than all the other meats.
Yes.
Okay, this was only one package, and this is going to make a huge, ginormous amount. Okay, so I browned it on two sides, and I'm going to take it out of the pan and put it on a plate. And you're going to chop up an apple for me. Okay? So I'm going to take this out because we're going to use all that yummy goodness at the bottom of the pan. All the flavor you can get, you want to use. Because when you cook at home, you want it to be better than when you go out to eat, because then you don't miss going out to eat. When we were at our most broke, I would go every other Friday on payday, and I would just pick something up. We wouldn't go out to eat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And because then you wouldn't have the tip, you wouldn't have the drinks, you could, have your soda or whatever at home.
Right.
And that would be my little special treat to myself, not cooking for that one night.
Nice.
Yeah. So there's ways to do it. But then I would cook every single night other than that. So I have onion here, and I got all this yummy goodness on the bottom of the pan.
Oh, nice.
So you want that.
All the juices.
Yes. So we're going to saute up some onion. And since Miss Rippy is retired and loving life, I'm going to put some crushed red pepper in this. She would have never wanted that in a million years. And also, I have parboiled the cabbage.
Okay.
Because we don't have time to sit here and let it cook down forever. So that'll make it go faster. I need to crank this back up. I'll just saute these a little bit, get them translucent. I'm going to put a little bit of salt. I'm going to go ahead and put the crushed red pepper in. And the amounts will come up on the screen at the end, and there's going to be like so many ways that you can get the recipes. You're not going to have to email them in for them anymore. We're going to have them on the blog, the website, the fan page, so many places. So it'll be easy to get. And you can always message me on Facebook or email me or whatever, and I'll help you find it.
That looks good with the juice.
Yes. So I have garlic here. I'm going to saute that up because you don't want raw garlic. And I have apple cider vinegar, and I have butter that I'm going to put in here after I put in some of the cabbage. Thank you. And then, of course, my lesson that I shared last week is put your scallions, your green onions, in a cup of water, and they continue growing. So that's what I used today. I didn't have to buy more.
Good.
Yeah. So let me put some of this cabbage in here. I like cabbage. Do you like cabbage?
I do like cabbage.
Okay, good. My husband can't really eat it that much, so he likes it in stuffed cabbage, and then he just eats the stuffing.
Oh, okay. We like it in soup.
Oh yeah, so good. It upsets his stomach, so I have to be careful what I cook at home. He's a sensitive man. His stomach, at least.
Right.
A little more cabbage. We can throw those apples in too, because we want those to get tender.
All right.
Thank you so much. That's just one apple. That's going to add quite the
Bulk.
It's going to add
A
tart sweetness. And then we have apple cider vinegar. And you want this to cook a lot longer at home. You know, we speed cook here. I've got butter. If you would take those.
Sure.
Thank you. I'm just going to saute this a little bit. I'm going to add the andouille sausage back in. I don't know what's happening over here. Am I hurting your eyeballs? I'm so sorry. The cameraman's having a fit over here. Okay, I'm putting the sausage back in. Oh, this
And
is
you're
a
done with
lot
this cabbage,
for
right?
now. Yeah, this is a lot of flavor. This
Smells
smells so good. So I'm just gonna let this saute for a minute. Again, when you're at home, you can take a lot longer. Let all those flavors marry together, but we have things to get to.
That's
so.
right.
Lately, when I've been cooking at home, I've been keeping it so simple. I need
Yes.
to up my game again. Okay, here we
Looks
go.
good.
Here we go. That's a big piece of cabbage. Let's get that off of there. Okay, we're gonna put a little scallion on it because it's pretty. Let's move this. Okay, ready?
Ready.
I'm gonna have a bite of apple and sausage.
It's good.
That apple and sausage together, and you taste the crushed red pepper.
The sweet
you taste
apple
it?
with the sausage.
So good. You want this recipe. It's
Very good.
Cajun
Cabbage.
cabbage skillet.
Very good.
The amounts will come up on the screen. There's going to be all kinds of ways for you to get it. Thank you so much for being here again.
Thanks for
I
having me.
appreciate you so much. I appreciate you all being here, and we will see you next time. God bless.
Well, that was some delicious cabbage, and you can't have too much cabbage, so that was great. Well, today I'm just honored and blessed to be able to feature and highlight and talk and share with a really spectacular and amazing woman. I really believe that God is on the move when it comes to the 7 mountains of influence. And we're all called to share the good news. We're all called to preach the gospel. We're all called to be evangelists. And so he plants us in different spheres of influence. And Andrea Harrison is someone that God put a spark in her when she was a little girl. And she has gone through many different transitions in her career and in her life. But everywhere she goes, she makes a huge statement for Jesus, and she applies the principles of the word, the promises of the word, and she has disciples. And so, Andrea, thank you for being. Bless you.
So happy to be here with you.
I love your brightness and your beauty and your enthusiasm. And I love your story.
Thank you.
I love your story. I love God stories. So, I know we have women watching that some women are like, you know, when I was a little girl, I had a dream. And I know as a little girl, you had a dream. And then sometimes, you know, it takes a while for the dots to connect. So tell us about the God dream in your heart and when you had this realization, I've got to get back to the things that God gifted me to do.
So, you know, it's really funny. When I was 9 years old, I remember reading a school book. And the school book was called Town and Country. And I specifically remember a moment reading that book and saying, wow, I would love to change the world. If I could just change the world. And then I thought, maybe that's too big. If I could just change my community. If I could just change my town. And I remember at 9 years old saying, if I could just make an impact in one person's life, I would be happy. And at 9 years old, thinking that, I didn't know what was going to happen or how God was going to play it out, but I knew that I had a willing heart. And of course, that's because of my upbringing. You know, my mom, single mom, pouring into me, loving on me, and teaching me about Jesus.
Yeah. And that is the game changer.
Yes.
Yeah. So you had this dream, which I love that, because God puts dreams in our heart. You know, he gives us the desires of our heart. Not like, give me what I want, but he gives us what to desire.
Yes.
So he put that in your heart to make a difference. So then we fast forward, you know, you've spoken this to the Lord, and you go through things women go through. You get married and you have a child, and you became a professional career woman, and you worked in the legal industry, right?
Yes.
For how long?
I was there for 25 years. I was a paralegal for over 25 years.
Now that's a committed career woman.
And to be honest with you, I never thought I would do anything else. I thought that was it, that I would retire as a paralegal, but God had other plans.
He did. Okay, so what, I know it has to do with your daughter, but what started tugging at your heart, that still small, quiet voice of the Holy Spirit that was saying, hey, remember what you whispered when you were 9?
Well, you know, when I was in my early 20s, I was living in the Bronx, New York City.
Woo!
And yes.
Mets or Yankees?
Yankees.
Of course. My husband too.
Yankees.
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't say Mets. There's an eject button on the side of that. Yeah. I'm glad you said Yankees. Okay.
And I remember a lady spoke a word over my life, and she said that you were going to be the mother to many nations.
Wow.
And I was in my early 20s, and I had no idea what that meant. And especially when I got married, and Gordon and I, we, didn't have our daughter right away. In fact, we were told we would never be able to have children.
Wow.
So our daughter, Madison, is an absolute miracle. And so I remember her saying that to me, but I really didn't understand it until later on in life, doing things with Madison and the amazing opportunities that came her way. That was when I said, wow, there's going to be more for me to do. I didn't know what it was yet, but I knew that there would be more. And so I knew that it would, because I had such a passion for women, and because of the things that I went through, just the different experiences in life, and learning how to walk out my purpose confidently. Yeah. I am the type of person where I want to share that with the world. I want to help other women to walk their purpose out confidently. So here I am.
Here you are. And we're going to get to how you are making a difference in other women's lives. But how about Madison? What started happening that you started realizing, I need to come out of corporate America and trust God, because I've got this miracle little girl that's got this creative edge to her. So how did that come about? Because I think it's really important that families have a destiny.
Yes.
And you could have easily just dismissed the things that she was saying, and yet you paid attention.
I did.
Okay.
I did. Well, my husband and I prayed about me leaving my career as a paralegal. We prayed about it together. And I actually started another business that I'm no longer doing now, but it was the beginning of everything. Like, I started it from the ground up. It was event decor. Okay. And so when I started that business, my daughter, at 7 years old, she said, if mommy can have a business, I want to start a business.
Good for her.
And I'm thinking, okay. And so she actually started taking pictures of little girls and their dolls. And we had a friend who had a photography studio in our town. And she called her up and she said, could I rent out your studio? I have a new business and I need exposure for my business at 7.
Wow.
And so she said, sure. She said, how much can you afford? She said, I can do it for $2 an hour. And to watch her work, my husband and I, we thought that this was like a play date on steroids. Yeah. Okay, it was just like, we just thought it was just big play date. She was so serious about her craft. Wow. And so the media got a hold of it, And so she went from the local newspaper to radio to national television shows. And it was amazing when they said to her, if you could photograph anybody in the world, who would it be? And she said, the President of the United States.
She dreamed big.
She did. And when they asked her, I asked her after, I'm like, really? The president? Because I'm thinking, as adults, our life experiences teach us to sometimes be fearful.
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking, how are we going to make this happen? You can't get next to the President of the United States. And so I asked her, I said, Madison, why did you choose the president? She said, I had to dream big, Mommy, because if I can dream big and if I can accomplish that dream, then a lot of other little girls, a lot of other children, they will know that they can dream big and accomplish their dreams too.
Wow.
Yeah. And so, I couldn't, because we were traveling so much and so many amazing opportunities came her way, I couldn't tell a bride that I was doing her wedding with, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to be in town this week. I've got to travel out to LA.
With my daughter.
Who
dreams big.
Yeah. And so my husband and I, we prayed about it. And so I stepped away from being a paralegal and totally just, my daughter has said, Mommy, you are the wind beneath my wings. Oh. And so whatever, I knew that God was leading her.
Yeah.
And with my husband's covering, I knew that there were going to be big things in store. And she had so many amazing opportunities. And I wanted to be a part of it. I wanted to be there with her. And of course, as a mom, we are our children's biggest advocates.
Yes, and fans of their president, president of their fan club.
Yes. And so it was actually an honor to be there with her, to travel with her, and to it was a blast.
Did she photograph the president?
Oh my goodness, who didn't she photograph? That's what you should ask.
Really?
She photographed the president. Wow. She photographed, took selfies with, interviewed Oprah Winfrey, Tyler Perry, John Legend, T.D. Jakes.
Wow.
I cried when she met him. Now, I didn't get to meet any of these people. I was behind the scenes, but I was close enough. If I had to snatch her up, I could.
Yep.
Mama Bear.
There you go. Always and forever.
But I cried when she met T.D. Jakes because I looked at him and I said, man, you don't even realize the impact you made in my life through your books and your preaching and everything. So it was an amazing experience.
Yeah. Just as you're talking, Andrea, I just, keep hearing the scripture that from Isaiah that says, and a little child shall lead them.
Yes.
And sometimes they have these big dreams and they have that childlike faith, what Jesus says in the Gospels, he says, I can't do without it.
Right.
If we want to be successful, to have that childlike faith. And I just want you to know I applaud you because you paid attention, you were present, and you knew, okay, I got to walk through this. And you were willing to walk away from a career, and you're even willing to walk away from the business that God gave you so that you could walk away from the career. And so now here you are traveling with your daughter, and you had to let go of the business that you had given birth to, and yet you knew, okay, I need another stream of income. And so in comes another opportunity to build a company.
And the funny thing is that, when I was traveling with Madison, I was happy doing it. My husband was the only one bringing in an income at the time, and we've always been a 2-income household. But I was happy doing it, and I loved being with her. And so I really wasn't looking for anything.
Okay.
Wasn't looking for it, wasn't searching for it. But in my heart, I knew that there was more. I knew that God had more for me. And so it was through Madison that I found out about the business that I'm a part of now.
She introduced you to it.
It was she had this this amazing vision board party, and there were lots of vendors at the vision board party, and I got drawn to, of course, the table with all the bling.
Woohoo! I would have been right there with you.
Yes, and so I started doing it. I joined the company just for the discount.
Yeah.
I had absolutely no intention of selling. I had no intention of growing a business at all. I just wanted to buy the jewelry because, if I could be truthful with you, I was hoarding it.
Well, we can repent at the end of the show for hoarding jewelry. I might have that problem as well.
Oh my goodness, I was buying so much of it, so I figured just join for the discount. But God had another plan in store for me, and really, His plan was all about the women that I would meet.
And minister to.
And minister to, the impact that I had on their lives, and the stories that I've heard from them, messages that I've received. It's unbelievable, unbelievable. But with God, all things are possible, right?
Yes, they are. Okay, so 5 years ago, you get in the business, you're just doing it for the discount. You're just content with your life, and all of a sudden God says, no, I have a ministry. I'm going to make your business a ministry.
Yes.
And you are going to minister to women, love women, disciple women, call them higher,
Yes.
Bring out the diamond in the rough,
Yes.
as you say,
Yes.
and make them sparkle, give them their confidence. And so you started rallying women, and you started pouring into women, and you started having seminars and conventions. And So tell me about your network, because I do think there's women watching that just feel like, my children are older and I'm midlife and my chance is over. That creative little
Yes.
girl in me, it's not there anymore. That, scientific little girl, or, the things we dreamed about. And they've really just given up hope.
Right.
So tell us about how God just did this for you.
So as I said, I just joined for the discount. I had no intentions of selling anything. I had no intentions of growing a team or anything like that. And what I found is everywhere that I would wear my jewelry, people would be drawn to it. And so, of course, it became a conduit. So, I would see somebody maybe at the supermarket or at a meeting or in the library or the restaurant, and people would say, oh my goodness, I love your earrings. Oh my goodness, I love your necklace. And so that would start the conversation. Before you know it, you are having these you're listening to stories.
Yeah.
You're listening to their, what they've been through.
Yeah.
And so I realized that it was more than just the product that I was drawn to. And so just little by little, me just letting my light shine, using social media to go live and speak to people, and then all of a sudden, my team started to grow. So then I had women that said yes to me, that they wanted to be a part of my team, and so then I was able to watch them. Coach them, train them, and what I believe is that when you love somebody, when you love somebody, I often say that God allows people to He plants them in our garden.
Yeah.
He plants them in our garden, and all He wants us to do is nurture them. And when a woman feels loved, when a woman feels beautiful, it often leads to her then feeling confident, like she can take on the world.
Yeah.
And so that became more important to me than anything else.
Yeah.
I am interested in the woman, her soul, interested in who God has created her to be.
Yeah.
And so, everything that I do, it cycles around that.
Yeah.
And this business, this platform has given me the opportunity to do what I'm most passionate about. And that is to pour into other women so that they know that there's a seat for them at the table.
Yes.
They know that God has a purpose for their life, and it doesn't matter what they've been through.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what they've faced. It doesn't matter their current circumstances. That God has something that only they can do, and they need to shine bright.
Yes. Well, I love what you're saying, and I love your heart, and I love, God uses the bling, and I love how they call you the bling slinger. I love it. I love it. You can sling bling at me anytime, and I'm sure a bunch of viewers. But that becomes the bait.
Yes.
That draws people
Yes,
in.
yes.
And I love, if those weren't, prescription glasses, I would take them right off your face. But I love how it opens doors. And
It
so
does.
this business has become your pulpit.
Yes.
This business has become the way that you can love on God's girls and
Yes.
His daughters.
Yes.
And He trusted you with it.
Yes.
And I appreciate that you said yes, and I appreciate that you are unapologetically getting your shine on, and then
I love that.
helping others
Yeah.
get theirs on, because I think women so much right now. They've been so beat up by the enemy, by society, by the culture, and just trying to find their footing in their place, and you're empowering them. And that's awesome. So we only have a small amount of time left. I know that people are gonna look you up and find you, not really just for the products in your business, but more for your mentoring and discipling program.
Yes.
And just the way that you love and encourage. And what's the acronym that you have for your business?
Shine with Andrea.
I love that. I
Shine
love
with
that.
Andrea.
And then you take time and you say, teach.
So the time is, I take the time to teach, inspire, mentor, and empower.
And that's what Jesus did.
Yes.
And that's all he wants us to do. And we all have a different way of doing it. But before we end today, I just wondered if you would speak to a woman sitting, she's on her lunch break, or, she's in a career that she just doesn't, she's dying on the vine, and call her up higher and impart, do exactly what that time acronym, just speak to their spirit and their destiny.
Today I want to tell you that you are valuable. You are important. You are beautiful, and you are enough. As I mentioned earlier, it doesn't matter what you've been through. It doesn't matter where you've traveled in this life. God has something for you. Remember what you thought, the dreams that you had when you were a little girl. Guess what? God is not finished with you yet. And it doesn't matter what you've been through. It doesn't matter what you're going through right now. Trust God through the process. Trust him through the process. Trust him that he has your best interests at heart. He loves you. And there are so many women out there that need to hear from you. And I would love to partner with you. I would love to mentor you, I would love the honor to mentor you and to help you to walk confidently in your purpose, because there's a lot of women out there that need to hear your voice. Be blessed. And I can't wait to see you shine.
Listen to your children. They are precious and valuable. Don't be afraid to rebrand yourself and come home. Come back to who God created you to be. You're destined, you're called. I'm Jen Mallon, and I'll see you next time.